Welcome to The Explainer. I'm honestly so pumped we're diving into this today because we're tackling something absolutely crucial for modern engineering. Look, it's 2026. LLM-powered agents, they aren't just cute sandbox experiments anymore. We're talking about real production rollouts across customer support, hardcore coding environments, deep research, and massive automation workflows. But as we hand over the keys and give these agents more autonomy, we've hit a pretty massive roadblock in how we actually monitor them. And it really boils down to this harsh reality. Logs don't tell you if your AI is actually good. I mean, think about traditional software, right? If your code runs, it doesn't crash, and the latency is decent, you're usually good to go. But AI models are non-deterministic. A perfectly fast, error-free response could still be absolute confident nonsense. It's kind of like looking at a restaurant receipt. The receipt says, hey, you bought dinner at 8 p.m. and your card worked. But it definitely doesn't tell you if the food was actually edible. Trusting standard logs for AI is literally like reviewing a meal based on the receipt alone. It just doesn't work. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll look at the AI blind spot. Second, the 5 core capabilities every team needs. Third, the tool matrix. And finally, choosing your specific stack. Starting with Section 1, the AI blind spot, and exactly why our traditional monitoring logs are completely failing us. Like we just talked about, traditional logs are awesome for latency, error codes, and uptime. They literally just tell you the system is breathing. But proper LLM observability, that is where we actually taste the food. This is what catches those insidious issues, the hallucinations where the model completely makes things up, weird tone shifts where your agent gets suddenly sassy with a customer, or those really subtle reasoning failures that standard monitoring will 100% miss. If you're just looking at uptime, you are flying completely blind when it comes to the actual quality of what you're shipping. So, how do we fix it? That brings us to Section 2, the 5 core capabilities. These are the new rules of the game. Before you get distracted by any specific shiny new tool, your setup absolutely must cover these 5 baselines. First, tracing and debugging. You need full execution traces down to the actual token level so you can do real root cause analysis when things break. Second is evaluation, or evals. You need automated grading, plus human feedback loops and benchmarks. Third, prompt and version management. Tracking how tweaking a prompt totally changes your outputs over time. Fourth, cost and performance monitoring, keeping an eye on tokens and rate limits so your AI doesn't accidentally bankrupt your startup. And fifth, a collaboration layer. Basically, dashboards where your real-world subject matter experts can actually step in and correct the AI's behavior. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is a concept under that second pillar of evals. You're probably hearing it everywhere right now. LLM as judge. Human reviews simply cannot scale to thousands of generations a minute, so we use automated evaluation. We literally use one powerful LLM as a grader to score the outputs of another LLM based on your predefined metrics, like accuracy, relevance, or politeness. It is an absolute game changer for maintaining output quality at serious speed. All right, moving right along to Section 3, the tool matrix. We're going to look at the top 18 tools out there right now, grouped by use case so we can move fast. First up, we've got the tools that are super popular with startups and builders. These platforms are all about lightweight speed and open source utility. Langfuse is fantastic here. It's a self-hostable observability platform with a really slick analytics dashboard. Then there's Helicone, which is brilliant because it acts as a drop-in OpenAI proxy. You plug it in and instantly get request logging, cost tracking, and caching without rewriting your entire app. We've also got Lunary for deep product tracking and OpenLLMetry, which brings standard, vendor-agnostic OpenTelemetry right into your LLM stack. Stepping up to the heavy hitters, let's look at the enterprise and infrastructure tools. If you're plugging into a massive, complex system, Datadog offers LLM observability right alongside your existing enterprise dashboards. For gateway reliability, Portkey is fantastic at handling multi-model routing and failovers. And if you need deep ML monitoring, Arize Phoenix is amazing at detecting model drift, while Galileo LLM Studio handles rigorous data quality and advanced hallucination detection at true enterprise scale. Now, if your biggest bottleneck is automated testing, these evaluation-first tools are going to be your best friends. TruLens is incredibly powerful, specializing in specific hallucination detection workflows and feedback functions. If you need serious benchmarking, DeepEval basically acts as open-source unit tests for your LLMs. HoneyHive is super cool because it integrates your evals directly into your CI/CD pipelines, and Parea AI zeroes right in on auto evals and tuning your prompts based directly on those test results. Rounding out the ecosystem, we have tools focused heavily on prompt management and collaboration. LangSmith is a massive standout here, offering deep end-to-end debugging and built-in annotation workflows. PromptLayer effortlessly handles your prompt history and A/B testing. Weights and Biases brings their legendary ML experiment tracking over to LLM evals, which is a huge win for existing teams. Humanloop and Braintrust are both fantastic for human-in-the-loop reviews, giving your team highly intuitive annotation tools. And finally, Vellum acts as a really powerful orchestrator to tie complex agent steps together. Section 4, choosing your stack and turning all of this into your actual competitive advantage. So the crucial point is, with 18 different tools, how do you actually make a decision? Well, there's no single best tool. It completely depends on your team's maturity level. Let's break it down. If you are a startup moving fast, grab Langfuse or Helicone for immediate lightweight visibility. If output quality keeps you up at night, go eval heavy with TruLens or DeepEval. Got strict enterprise infrastructure requirements? Datadog and Arize are your safest bets. And honestly, if your architecture already relies on LangChain, adopting LangSmith is the most natural, powerful extension you could make. But whatever stack you go with, please keep this in mind. The real unlock here isn't just hoarding data. It's not about looking at a pretty dashboard with colorful token usage charts. The actual power of LLM observability is closing the loop. It's taking that continuous stream of metrics, evals, and human feedback and using it to actively build tangibly better, more reliable AI agents over time. Which leaves us with a pretty important question to ponder. As we continue pushing the absolute limits of what AI agents can do in 2026, having true visibility into their logic isn't an optional luxury anymore. So take a hard look at your team and ask yourself, is your observability setup actively serving as your competitive advantage, or is it currently your biggest blind spot? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope this helps you go out and build better, safer AI. Catch you next time.